hi, here's my video for the day. March 20th, Monday, 5:41 a.m. 2024. Not March 20th, May 20th. Yeah, I didn't sleep at all last night. I was just in bed maybe an hour or two, I don't know. I was laying in bed, with my phone, and I put the Notes app and the Audible app next to each other, and I was listening to Audible and writing in the Notes app notes, the chapters for Livy. So I'm gonna go in there because the Notes app is cool. It's connected, between my Apple phone and my two Macs. So I would just open it on the Mac, and it would be there, copy and paste it onto the Livy chapter in book 6 that I was doing. I did like 10 chapters that way. I wanted to experiment doing it that way because I was working it on the computer and on this couch, all night, and then I got to a point where I was like getting tired, and I'm getting tired of sitting here. So, and I wanted to stop because I was tired of working, but I wasn't groggy. So I was like, well, let's just lay in bed and do it with the phone. And just because I've never done it with the phone, just to see how well it goes, how smoothly it goes. Because if this project ends up being really long and I can't do it in one sitting, it could be like a side project that I would pick up on, like whenever I'm hanging out with my mom, like at her house, like when I go to her house for meals or waiting around for her when we're going to do a bike ride or whatever. Instead of having to feel like I have to or watching a movie at her house, instead of feeling like I have to bring my computer every time, I just bring my phone and I can do those, did I wear that? Did I burn my coffee? I mean my pizza. I smelled burning pizza. Yeah, I can, and it doesn't seem like it's that much. I should clean out my toaster. It doesn't seem like it's that much more time consuming to do it with the phone. The problem is, there it is, the typing is slower, and also on the Notes program, when I'm typing with my finger, I can see on the phone, it likes to respell stuff all the time. So if I put on like a word or like a Roman's name, it likes to change it. So I would have to then fix it on Notes. So on the computer, so it's not that. I don't know. We'll see how well it works, but it seemed to work kind of well. So yeah, it's cool that I have that tool. So, but then I got bored doing that, and I decided to go ahead and just get up and start my day because I couldn't sleep. I was gonna go over to my mom was going to come over here, and we were going to call the IRS and try to get a house insurance again. My other house insurance guy won't answer my calls for the last couple of weeks, so I'll have to go to somebody else. Yes, and my ID is for the marijuana clinic. So, yeah, so I guess yesterday I went to my mom's house for a couple of hours or something because she wanted me to plant a rose bush and another like sage bush, and then she made me a meal and we hung out, and then we went on a bike ride to the lake at the bike park and hung out on a bench and came back, and but then I came back here, and it was my second day of doing these Livy chapters, and I'm getting slightly better every time. So like my technique, the idea behind Livy, making the Livy chapters, is to make it so that if you only read the Livy chapters, you have enough information to make a TV show out of it. Like, I don't need to read actually Livy. Like, I'm basically making turning Livy into a TV script. I'm boiling it down into like a to like what do you call and a script, and so then I need to include all of the things that you would need to know in the script of the story, such as like special names of things that are peculiar to Rome, and the names of people. And for the first day, I was having the names of people until I realized that, like, all of the leaders, in Rome was very democratic, so every year they had different consuls, the 6 of them, blah, blah. Until I realized that most of the space was being taken up by the names. And my big technique of my website is to not use up space. And so I took the names away from from chapter 9 of book 4, and it saves space. And then I got to 10, and then I changed my mind again, and I realized that I needed the names because then, like, I need some names, obviously, to match them to Wikipedia articles and to dates. And so if I need some names, how would I decide which names to use and which ones to not? So then I should just use all the names. And if I do use all the names, a lot of them have Wikipedia, and also you can attach dates. And apart from that, you get to know which names were used, so it personalizes it, makes you familiar with their language. But also, it's kind of brain candy anyway, because the problem of part of the boiling it down in size, reducing it in size is for the brain, and not all just for the space. And you're not really taking up brain space with all of these leaders' names. Because if you're reading through the book, will get accustomed to just listen to the names, but then you'll pay attention again when you hear something. So I brought the names back to book 9. Luckily, before I went too long without doing it or knocking a bunch off, because I thought about it. I was like, well, then knock them all off in the beginning. And I was like, no, wait. And then luckily I changed my mind. So then I decided to put the names on. So you need the names, but then you also need, special things that they do. And then also, every time they mention a location, I included that, right? Because I want to know, to compare it to here, I need to create a location here to match location there. So I look at where their location, then make one here that matches. And also laws, and so and then it got to the point where I'm just like basically rewriting the entire book onto it and making these really long chapters, and I'm like thinking to myself, holy shit, because there's 1,870 of them, how long is this going to take? It's like a macrocosm on my website. It's easy to get too myopic and overly involved and bite off more than I can chew, and end up writing a huge book out of the menu, like 100-page book or something. It's just a skill, and also being able to interpret the book and what they're saying, and the translation and the grammar even isn't always correct. And so, I was thinking to myself, it's like the ultimate brain, like, intelligence test, dude, to like turn Livy into or a book like Livy into a synopsis. And I kind of in the beginning I was a little bit kind of like bummed that nobody had ever done it before, but then I was like, well, hey, at least to have the honor of doing this particular thing is I think is like something to a good way to pass the time, because it's super enjoyable and stimulating, but prestigious as well. Not like I do things for that, but I mean, it's a lot of people would rely on it. And so the better job that you do on it, the better off everybody is for having a description of Livy that is that captures the essence of Rome without burning you out, making a menu page. It's just too goddamn big, you know. Keep it concise, but include everything, and pick up all with and like make it clear, the peculiarities and the genius of Rome as clear as possible to people, and the patterns such as their tendency to kill anybody who tries to become king. There's a bunch of those stories. Sacrifices to install riot, like Lucretia who kills herself, and then the guy who Honorius who killed his or Virginius who killed his daughter Virginia to incite a riot against Appius, and then I also like to pay attention to whenever old men, because there's lots of stories of people of like famous people like the older Appius, the Decemvir. They're super involved, and then they like make a reappearance like as old people to give a speech in the forum, and because you can include that in the story of Rome, like with a certain person experiencing the ebbs and flows, the vicissitudes of the world that they live in. That's one of the most interesting things about study of history is imagining certain people's lives or certain generations of people's lives who experience huge changes. Like they were mentioning in one of those books, because I was working on 5 and then I moved to 6. I think it was like 5. But like after Rome conquered Veii, which was their big Etruscan enemy, which was only like 11, like freaking 5 miles from Rome. Veii was really rich, so they sacked Veii and got a bunch of slaves and like accepted a bunch of new citizens. That Rome, the city, in 1 year, like grew a lot and transformed and got prettier. Like Augustus likes to say that he found Rome as a city of stone and left it as a city of marble. But when they destroyed Veii back hundreds of years BC, 350 BC or whatever, he mentioned that they built a nice hewn stone temple at the bottom of the Capitoline Hill. So it was starting to be getting built up back then. So it's great that we have such a detailed story of the development of one city, because it's like a perfect microcosm of the human condition. So yeah, I'm excited to do this. It's fun. I'm enjoying myself, but I really need to do business today. Or I may have already gone past my due date, and fucking IRS has sent off my whatever they say I owe to collections again. They did that last year. And then get back on. Yeah, I shouldn't mention how I'm not on insurance, but what else? Yeah, and then the card, but anyways, and then I'm gonna wait until it's 6 pretty soon, get my energy drink, and then smoke a bunch of weed. Yeah, drink the energy drink, chill out, and then get going on here, on the book, on the computer, transfer the stuff that I did on the phone on here, and then get going, yeah. And just stay awake, and if I can't do business, I can't do business. My mom was only going to be able to hang out with me in the morning because she was going to do other things, hang out with the other obligations for the rest of the day, so maybe we'll just do it tomorrow in the afternoon. I'm in no rush. I mean, if any fuckface from the government, IRS, wants to fuck with me, take my belongings from me and throw me on the street, it's like, look at my website, man. Like, don't fuck with me. Pisses me off how the IRS wants to fuck with me every year. And I'm broke as dick. So if anybody wants to hook me up with money, it was funny, like, in Livy, I was reading Livy, and like, I guess they were going to go to war with Rome. Something happened, I can't remember what it was, so they wanted to know what it meant or whatever, so they sent envoys. Oh, I remember. So the lake of Albinus, the Albine Lake, suddenly rose for no reason. And so they wanted to know why. So they sent envoys to the prophet of Delphi. And while they were off in Delphi, there was an old man from Veii who was babbling that he knew the prophecy of the lake, and so they captured him and they brought him to Rome, and they got him to say that that the ancient books of Vey said that if Rome, as soon as Rome like cultivated the water from Lake Alba, then it would be over for Vey. And so, and then when the envoys from Delphi came back, Delphi said, because the question was, hey, the lake from Alba just rose. Like, what should we do about it? Because we're fighting Vey. Yeah, and the Delphian oracle said, yeah, yeah, you should cultivate, the water from the Lake of Alba, turn it into streams like you want to, and aqueducts. And then, of course, you'll be successful against Vey, and and give us money because we're broke. They're like, people don't respect us like they used to. Can you, once you're victorious because of our prophecy, can you hook us up with money? I was just thinking to myself, like, yeah, it didn't take a whole lot of brain power to be like, this stoned out priestess and under the rock, and they ask her, they're like, yeah, these people called the Romans, they say that their lake next to them got really high, and they don't know what to do about it, and they're having a war with the next town over. What does the really high lake mean? And the lady could be like, yeah, you could drain it off, and then you'll be victorious and give us money. It's like, easy as pie to say. Anyways, I wrote that down. I tried it, like, when I write it down into my book, I try to make it sound like modern wordage, to make it easy to remember, to make it seem simple, and the message clear. Like, another interesting thing happened that I thought was funny. Like, a couple of Vestal virgins got buried alive for having sex, because they're supposed to be virgins. But one virgin, can't remember her name, was accused of having sex because she dressed sexy. And so after she proved that, she was just a pretty girl who dressed sexy, they put on a law saying she had to dress like a nun so that people wouldn't think she was having sex. I thought that was funny. So anyways, just trying to word stuff like that. And so, yeah, I think it's the ultimate challenge, but holy fuck, I may have stepped in it, So I might have to relegate this to, like, a side project, let it share with other things so I don't overheat my brain. But I've been wanting, this is the opposite of brain candy, and I've been wanting to do something opposite of brain candy forever. So I've been doing, copying and pasting. That's like my whole website. 99.9% or 99% of my website, you could train a monkey to do. It's only the 10% that takes brains. So this is, so yeah, I'll probably, I don't know, mix it with something else. So anyways, that's what I'm up to. Oh, and also I set up a link to it. So if you go to my Livy, at the very top, if you click Welcome to the Big League Book of Livy, check out the menu link here. You can click on it and it'll take you to where I'm at right now, and you can trace my progress if you want and read what I have boiled down on the Livy as of now, because when it's done, it'll be super duper interesting. And it's a process. It might take a while. So anyways, that's what I'm up to. It's probably around 6 for me to go get me my energy drink. My morning ritual, because they have the monsters on sale for $2.25. I got 2 yesterday. I figure I could afford that. Anyways, I'm gonna have my pizza right now and then get going with my day. Talk to you tomorrow.